What's going on to all of my Virgos out there? Let's get into it. But before I begin, I just want to let y'all know the book is out. Yes, I got it. Got a copy of it in my hands right here. So there it is. And also, too, I want to say, put this here. And also, too, I want to say shout outs to Jason David Frank. Rest in peace. You were my favorite Power Ranger on the team. Also, too, you essentially made my childhood. Appreciate it. Condolences go out to his family. So let's get into it to this. So for you Virgos, you have the Lovers, the Justice, the World, the Strength, the Six of Swords, the Hanged Man, the Eight of Wands, the Three of Wands, Four of Swords, and you have the King of Swords. Okay, so for you Virgos, right? You Virgos are in a situation right now where you Virgos essentially have to understand that what you've got going on is you've essentially got yourself in a situation where, as far as the love department, I will say this, right? I will say that a lot of the people from the past who tried to mess you up, really get you caught up, they're paying for it right now because you have the Justice. So this is about how, um, and then you have the World. So it represents now that you're not around, people are really paying for it that you're not around, because the same people that you try to be in love with that didn't want you, now they're starting to see what exactly was going on with you when you were saying the things that you were saying, or you were how you were. And as a result of this, they didn't understand it before, but now they do, right? And the World represents, you're trying to put yourself in a situation where you're not responsible for what they got going on, and you're really not. Um, the Strength and the Six of Swords represents how, but also too, don't be a jerk to people. You know what I mean? Don't be a jerk to them. If they call you or they hit you up or something like this, right, where they want to see what's going on, right? They may end up coming in, something like this, or someone else may end up coming in, because I don't see the Six of Cups just yet, where it seems like it's somebody old that you used to mess with coming back. I see someone that essentially, someone new coming in. And a lot of you, like I said, a lot of you Virgos need to watch out for being a jerk. You know what I mean? You know, I have my own shining moments myself where I can be a jerk and stuff like this. And I don't necessarily mean to, or nor am I trying to be a jerk or any of that type of stuff. A lot of times people misunderstand uh, my desire to succeed without, BS getting in the way with being a jerk. But at the same time, like I said, sometimes I can be a jerk too, and I'm a Virgo myself saying that. So a lot of times you Virgos can end up being can you Virgos can end up being very ruthless, and you can end up saying and doing things that really can inspire a lot of dread. You know what I mean? So this is something that you Virgos are going to have to take care of, right? Myself included, right? It's the idea that, try your best not to treat people like trash, regardless of if it's old, regardless if it's a person that's new coming in. Really try not to treat people like trash, regardless of who it is. For the most part, if you think that they're being delusional to you and they're giving you a difficult time, just walk away. And if they have a problem with it, then who cares? But essentially, you've really done everything that you're really supposed to do, right? And I understand, me being a Virgo myself, me being a jerk to a couple of people within the past few days, because like I said before, I'm a person that can essentially admit my faults. But with that being said, we really do have to do better in that regard, right? Myself included, of course. But we really do have to get better in that regard. Try not to seek revenge. Try not to. get at people. I know sometimes things can get a little bit rough, but we gotta rise above that. I'm not saying for us to be punks, nor are we supposed to take it, because I never said that either. But what I'm saying is that we gotta our walk away game has to be better. We have to be able to figure out a way where we can become so detached from the BS that from unless we have to fight, walking away is the best option for us, unless we have to actually fight, right? Now, in an extreme case. Now, the hangman represents this time should be a very intense inner journey. You know what I mean? It's one of those times where we have to, us as Virgos, we really have to figure out on a deeper level more of who we are and what do we want and where are we going, right? The hangman represents self-discovery. So it represents what exactly is going on internally with us that we need to actually address and we need to address truthfully. So the Eight of Wands represents we may need to actually um, we may need to communicate to ourselves what it is that we want, right? What it is that we really want, right? For me, for instance, I said this before, I want to be taken seriously, and I don't necessarily want to rub people the wrong way. I don't necessarily try to rub people the wrong way, but at the same time, a lot of people have ulterior motives to them. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm putting myself out here as an example of of truthfulness. And sometimes, to be honest with you, it can be kind of difficult to understand who's friend and who's foe. Sometimes, not all the time, not even often. I would say about 25 out of 100% of the times, it can kind of be kind of dysfunctional as to who's friend and who's foe, right? So for me, what I want is to be taken seriously, right? And for people to just, if they come to me, just stop trolling, just stop acting like you don't have any common sense, right? And the relationship could be cool, and it will be cool, but all these different angles and tactics sometimes people do, and how far they're willing to go. The idea that you could be friends with somebody for months and then completely change and switch up after the relationship has been created, that's kind of out there to me. Like I don't have that mechanism built in me where I can stand next to a person for months and be that cool with the person and be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're tight. You know what I mean? We're two peas in a pod, and then end up, betraying them in that way, whether it's friendship, whether it's romantic, right? So the things that the Three of Wands represent, like I said, that walk away game has to be better. You have to be able to overlook. You Virgos have to be able to look. What's the word that I'm looking for? Look past, kind of like if you're standing up on like a building or like a cliff or something like this, or a very high vantage point, right? The ability to look over the city, look over what's going on, and understand that ultimately the BS is going to happen, right? But you got to get to a point where you can detach. And the thing is that, right now, what does this have to do with relationships? This has to do with everything with relationships, because the same thing applies for the relationships too. You got to get to a point where when people are wasting your time, or they're being a dud, or things aren't working out for you, you got to get to a point where you Virgos are like, I'm just going to walk away from this, and quietly walk away at that, right? You don't have to make things more difficult than what they are, right? You don't have to, because you already know that there's friction there, right? You already know that you and the other person have some sort of problem, because this person may be dysfunctional, or you may have a problem. You understand what I'm saying? But whenever it is that you see people wasting your time, and this is something that I have to do myself, whenever it is that you see people wasting your time, because I've had a couple of people recently try to waste my time, right? When it comes to business, got to learn to cut them off. You got to learn to excommunicate them, you know. And the Four of Swords and the King of Swords represents, and also too, you have to learn to, like I said, be more silent with your approach and just do it. You know what I mean? Just cut them off. You don't even have to tell them that you cutting them off. And that's something that I myself, I'm taking my own advice in this thing. I'm taking my own advice in this thing, and I'm learning how to cut people off quietly myself without, you know what I mean, without having to address them. It's my Aries aspect to me where I have to address them, right? And I have to work on that part of myself as well, right? So, you know, past the lame trolls and the you know what I mean, and the clowning around and the acting like they know this and some sort of moral high ground. I got to get to a point with my own self. Let's clarify the King of Swords, but I got to get to a point within my own self where all those trolls, they always come at me, they always say the same thing. I'm unattractive. I never said that I was the most handsome person in the world. They're always wrong. They always with the BS. It's like at this point, it's like, come on, you know? And it's something within myself as well as with you, Virgos, where people are gonna act like this for you because yeah, Venus falls in Virgo. So you're gonna have to get to a point where you don't even you rise so far above that, you don't even take that personally, you know? So to clarify the King of Swords, we have the Fool, the King of Wands, the Queen of Swords, and we have the Page of Swords. So this is a situation for a lot of you where the Fool is again more clarification. You got to learn to look past through all of this stuff and understand that all those people clowning you and calling you this and calling you names and trying to make it seem like you ain't this and you ain't that. And, you know what I'm saying? I've had that too. People calling me ugly and calling me this and calling me that. Well, you hear though. You're here. You're watching my video though. You're you know what I mean? You know, you're helping me get richer though, because you're watching my video. Thank you for the AdSense. Thank you. You know, so it's a duplistic situation, right? It's a duplistic situation where it's where are you going with this, right? Now, the best thing that I can do, the best thing that you Virgos can do, and I've suggested this too, is that go back and if you said and if you've been disrespectful and you have an opportunity to apologize, even when you don't have anything to necessarily apologize for, it's always a good idea to go back and apologize. You know why? Because, and this is something that a lot of people don't understand. King of Wands, you're learning how to give ground. A lot of times, so many people are caught up with their ego, Virgo, to the point where people don't want to give any ground. People want to march forward, but they don't want to actually learn how to. Sometimes you have to give ground to gain more ground than what you gave. Because when you tell somebody sorry, and it's real, right? It's real. You're going to atone for it, right? You are atoning for it. What are they going to do after that? If they keep, you know what I'm saying? If they don't accept it, they either going to accept your apology and move on, or they're going to be super upset and continue to keep on trying to seek revenge. If they keep seeking revenge, at that point, that's their problem now, because you already said sorry. You've already atoned for it, right? So the situation is that a lot of times people don't understand, right? The King of Wands. Sometimes, especially in this tarot deck, because it's orientated correctly, sometimes you have to give ground in order to gain ground. And that's a strategy that a lot of people have a serious problem with, because a lot of the times, Virgos, their ego is big. And what I mean by that is the idea that someone is treating you with respect, and the best thing that you can do is to disrespect them. So other people know exactly how to treat that person. They know that, oh, okay, I can't trust you because this person over here is treating you like gold, and you can't stop treating them like trash. even though this person is treating you like gold. And it's not to say that this person is a pushover or a punk. They just let you go. And you, when you had this person in your life, you couldn't stop treating them that way. That lets me know that you don't know how to actually handle good things coming into your life, good people coming into your life that's bringing in favor. So, and a lot of times too, this is even when it comes to like business, romance, any of that stuff. It's called giving ground to get ground. Sometimes you have to apologize, things of this nature, all of that stuff. But people's egos are so big to the point where they don't understand. Like once the person has said sorry and they are atoning for it and they're not a pushover, right? You've been checkmated. You can't do anything else. If you continue on, something's wrong with you at that point because what else is there for you to do? You know what I mean? At that point, you're the one with the problem. So the thing is that the Queen of Swords and the Page of Swords now represents, and again, be very mindful of it. And a lot of you Virgos will teach yourself how to be mindful of it. You know what I mean? So that you're better able to deal with that. Now let's clarify the Hanged Man and let's get out of here. Let's clarify the Hanged Man. So you have the Four of Wands, the Eight of Cups, the Seven of Swords, the Two of Swords. Excuse me. So the Four of Wands and the Eight of Cups represents when you have people coming to you, you have to learn how to let them love you as well as you learn to love them, right? Because part of what makes people break up or not really get together for a very long time is because people don't, a lot of times people don't know how to let people love them because they done been through so much experiences with the fakes. Excuse me. So when you're looking for a long-term relationship, learning how to let somebody love you is a process, just like you learning how to love them. A lot of times people don't understand that they don't really love themselves and they're not really listening to themselves because when that happens, because you'll say certain things like, they will say certain things to you or you will say certain things to certain people and it's like they almost don't even hear what it is that you have to say. So for you Virgos, you have to learn to let people love you. I know Venus falls in Virgo, but also too, like I said, your walk away game has to get stronger. When people giving you a difficult situation because, then it means that it's time for you to walk away, right? So the seven of swords and the seven and two of swords is about, like I said, when people are super combative like that, don't take it personally, right? I have to learn to not even let the trolls get me riled up or whatever the case may be. Because I thought that, I could essentially try to talk to him. I realized that that type of stuff ain't going to work for me. I realized that in relationships, just the same, in relationships, certain things don't work for me. If a person crossed a certain line, I can't take that person back ever again. I don't like liars. If they do things like that, if they make lying a habit, I don't like that type of stuff because I try to build up a very good reputation of me being a person that's telling the truth, right? Because why would I lie for no reason? Just because. So that's just something that a lot of you Virgos should take into consideration. You still do have a lot of people coming to you. It's just that for you, now it's about the art of learning how to actually interact with people. And what I mean by that is engage with them, how to love them, and how to let them love you as well, without the assumptions and the problems. And when the problems come about, you leave, right? And if things get even more hairy, you deal with the situations accordingly. So that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. I'm trying to get this YouTube channel to 3,500 subscribers by the end of January. As of right now, I have 3,294 subscribers. We're almost there at 3,300. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, and set the notification bell to all so you can be notified whenever I drop these videos. Peace.